Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. The Daily Beast had a strong article titled, "Secret Plans for King Charles' Death Are Already Tearing the Royal Family Apart." The Beast writes, "It's hard to understand almost anything that has happened in the royal story since February 5th, 2024, the day King Charles announced to the world he had cancer, unless you are privy to an extraordinary assumption whispered in the corridors of British power. It is this. When King Charles III ascended the throne, most people expected he would live as long as his mother, 96, or father, 99. Since his diagnosis with cancer of a still unidentified type, few but the most ardent optimists really believe that anymore. The combined might of the British medical establishment is throwing everything it has at his disease, cutting-edge treatments, and of course, this being Charles, his beloved herbs and natural healing remedies are all being deployed. But even if Charles is ultimately declared to be in full remission, when he broke with centuries of royal tradition and announced he had cancer, he fired the starting pistol on what courtiers euphemistically term the change of reign. The Beast shares some eye-opening particulars. Charles' family were told the truth, that it was serious. That, of course, is why Prince Harry flew over from California 3 days later, and that is why the king agreed to meet him. William also sprang into action. Just days after the news was made public, he appointed a new private secretary, Ian Patrick, an experienced former diplomat who had worked for the Foreign Office for 8 years. The implication was clear. William would be stepping up to a bigger, more global role. William's plans, however, were then brutally knocked aside by his own wife's cancer diagnosis, which forced him to retreat from public life and international travel for several months. Now, of course, with Kate's recovery, William is back and has a much higher profile than his father, who has spent the last few weeks gathering and conserving his strength for the Australia tour. The Beast then gets into the Harry of it all, pointing out Harry is much more likely to be able to make a deal with King Charles III than King William V. The Daily Beast has been told that some of Charles' advisors, instinctively preferring not to let daylight in on the magic, felt the announcement he had cancer was politically naive. The inevitably diminished authority of a dying monarch is the reason palaces are usually so obsessively secretive about a monarch's health. We saw Queen Elizabeth II shrinking on our television screens every week in her final years. But the palace boldly insisted she was suffering from nothing worse than episodic mobility problems. We'll look more at this piece tomorrow. Harry visited Johannesburg, South Africa, as part of his ongoing solo travels overseas without Meghan Markle. While in Johannesburg, he called on global leaders to create a platform for young voices. He also attended a reception focused on empowering young people and addressing the digital divide, speaking on the significance of including youth voices. He said, "I've made it one of my life's missions to create a platform for young voices, and we have seen time and time again that young voices, when they are listened to, have the solutions." Harry also emphasized the need for regional solutions to address key issues, stating, "Universal access is important, but can we please make it safer for people, especially the global south, so we don't have the same problems as in the global north," he added. "Access is a double-edged sword, and for us as a society and people in positions of power and authority, I see no excuse for why we can't change this double-edged sword into something that is beneficial to the entire world." Following his time in Johannesburg, Harry travelled to Lesotho, where he reconnected with his close friend and Centabali co-founder, Prince Siyiso. The two have a long-standing connection as Harry spent time in Lesotho during his gap year in 2004. This experience inspired him to establish Centabali, which now also operates in Botswana. The Sussex website recounted the trip under the headline, "Lesotho welcomes Harry home," describing it as a chance to rekindle cherished connections from his childhood. While in Lesotho, Harry also met with Prime Minister Sam Matekane on Wednesday. Palace Intrigue will be right back. It seems as if every statue of Queen Elizabeth is received with disappointment. A new life-size bronze sculpture of Her Majesty in a small Hampshire town has caused a difference of opinion online. The sculpture, unveiled on the 27th of September, has drawn both praise as a fitting tribute to the Queen and as a misplaced use of local authority funds. The piece, created by artist Amy Goodman, depicts the monarch in her later years and is described as wearing a robe adorned with pictures inspired by the community. Online reaction included, "God-awful statue. terrible quality and likeness, gross waste of public funds from an incompetent council that can't even provide a basic level of service. Another asked, why for goodness sake? The Queen was okay, but I failed to see what she had to do with Andover. I can think of an awful lot of projects that would have been more beneficial to the community. We've remarked how Sophie has stepped into a lot of spaces traditionally held by Kate, and here's another example. The Duchess of Edinburgh is said to read a heartwarming bedtime story on CBeebies on October 10th, commemorating World Sight Day. The story, titled Specs for Rex, is about a little lion who learns to embrace his new glasses. In a trailer for the program, Duchess Sophie said, millions of us need glasses to see the world clearly. World Sight Day is a reminder to all of us to take care of our eyes, whether we need glasses or not. Our eyes are precious, and our sight is something to cherish and look after. The Duchess, known for her passion in supporting the sight-loss community and eliminating avoidable blindness, visited Ethiopia last October to support eyesight health efforts. During her visit, she commented, so much has been achieved both here in Ethiopia and around the world. But now is the time that we must all redouble our efforts if we are to achieve our aim of eliminating trachoma by the year 2030, which is a mere 6 years away. We must not let ourselves become defocused or complacent. We are on the cusp of achieving something almost unimaginable in previous years. Every person involved in this vital work has reason to be so very proud of each and every accomplishment. We are creeping closer to our incredible goal, and I urge you all to keep your eyes on the prize and make this disease so awful that it is worthy of mention in the Bible a thing of the past and give our communities the gift of sight. Mike Tyndall, husband of Zara Tyndall and son-in-law to Princess Anne, has entertained royal fans with his latest social media post. The 45-year-old former rugby player attempted a popular TikTok challenge with his podcast co-host, James Haskell. Challenge, posted on Instagram, showed Haskell trying to spin Tyndall 360 degrees in the air, mimicking a viral video of a young couple. After 2 failed attempts that saw Tyndall fall, the third try was nearly successful. Sarah Ferguson has sparked attention with her recent social media post celebrating her daughter Princess Beatrice's pregnancy announcement. The Duchess's heartfelt message notably excluded any mention of Prince Andrew, Beatrice's father. Fergie wrote, words can't quite express the joy and excitement I feel as you and Endo prepare to welcome another precious addition to your beautiful family. Becoming a grand again fills my heart with so much happiness and gratitude. Watching you grow as a mother has been one of the greatest privileges of my life, and now to see your family blossom further is an absolute blessing. Our family is growing, and so too is the love that surrounds us. I cannot wait to meet this little one and to share in all the wonderful memories we will make together. This isn't the first time Fergie has omitted Andrew from family-focused posts. On Father's Day, she highlighted Mr. Motzi and Jack Brooksbank, Princess Eugenie's husband, without mentioning Andrew. And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalaceintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, Apple, or the app of your choice. And write us a review or leave some stars if you're enjoying the show. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue and good times.